Is my sound working? Okay, thanks. Hello and welcome. My name is Pramod Chaudhary. I'm the director of IUCAA in Pune. And we are now starting our live stream on the occasion of the partial solar eclipse that's happening today. The special feature of this solar eclipse is that it has distinguished itself by happening on the day of Diwali. In fact, as you know, Diwali happens on the new moon day, on the day of Amavasya. And this year, Diwali was celebrated a little earlier, partly because we have the eclipse happening exactly when the sun and the moon and the earth are being aligned. And the other speciality is that this is happening at the sunset. So if the eclipsed sun in India, as seen from India, is going to set before it is completely free of the shadow. And it is very interesting to us. Every single eclipse, partial or total, is very attractive for astronomers, for the general public, everybody, for many reasons. There are quite a lot of superstitions that go with eclipses, and all these rules that are passed on to us by people who think they know a lot about the eclipse. It's an astrological phenomenon. I would urge everybody to view the eclipse for what it is and not for something that's larger than life. It is just a shadow of the moon on the sun, and as seen from the earth. And it is as the moon comes in front of the sun, it partially blocks or fully blocks the sun. And it happens when the three are in line. And that is also happens during Amavasya, when the new moon. It doesn't happen every time, every month as the moon comes between the earth and the sun, because the two orbits are slightly not in the same plane. Otherwise, we would have had this every month. And this is why, which makes eclipses very unusual. But it's not a coincidence that it happened on Diwali. A lot of people are saying Diwali and eclipse together, it means something. It's not, because Diwali happens on new moon, and so does the eclipse. We are today putting together a stream from various parts of the country, and you will hear more about it as we go along. From IUCAA, we are coordinating a live stream from the football ground in the university next to IUCAA, outdoors, as well as from the roof of IUCAA. And our members are in many different places, and they're all, you'll see all of that, as well as live feeds from our colleagues who are in different institutions all across the country. I'll pass you back to our control room, where you will hear a lot more about what's going on. But welcome, and stay with us till sunset, so that we can say goodbye to the setting sun as it is eclipsed, and we will take you all through to the end. Back to the control room. Oh, back to Mayuri.
Hello all, everyone who is watching. Welcome to the experience of watching the partial solar eclipse from IUCAA. We are live streaming the event. We are on the ground, and it's an exciting time just around Diwali. And these are very important events where it makes you wonder about the happenings in the cosmos. Apart from just the eclipse, you might also notice some little spots on the sun, which are essentially the sunspots, which are the dark features that you might notice that are due to the intense magnetic activity on the sun. A lot of the space weather events are controlled and dictated by these little dark features on the sun. It's a very important and exciting day today, where a whole bunch of people and enthusiasts and people who have worked very hard to put these feats alive for all of you from various parts of the India have worked together. So I welcome you all to this exciting day ahead, and there will be other colleagues will be explaining to you the events as it progresses. Thank you very much.
Hello all, I'm Nilesh and welcome to today's event. This is a very special eclipse. So it is not a full eclipse, it is a partial eclipse. It is on very special day. It is on our Diwali holiday, Diwali day, and it makes it a very unique event where everyone is excited to see. And today we will be seeing this event from multiple places. It will be live streamed from multiple places because timing of eclipse is different at different places, and we'll be able to monitor this eclipse across India from multiple places and see how it progresses and how it reaches to the maximum point at different places. So even if you miss maximum eclipse point at your place, you will be able to visit it and witness it online at different places, maybe few minutes after your place. So we are all excited. Here we are giving live streaming of this eclipse through as seen through telescopes. Plus, in IUCAA, we are at IUCAA, and in IUCAA there is one more big event here on ground where a lot of people are there, and it is shown for general people who are interested. It is shown there through telescopes and through projections, and I believe few hundred or thousand people will be visiting there. So it is all going to be a very exciting event till starting from now till sunset. So we'll keep in touch and we'll be giving you. That's a bird in sky making the loud roar going towards sun. So it is going directly from our point to sun, so we'll not be able to see it anyway. But yes, this is going to be today's event, very exciting thing, and we are all waiting to see how eclipse progresses. And now we'll show you current setup. This is the telescope through which we'll be showing you. There is a camera mounted on it, and there is a solar filter on that telescope. So please don't try it yourself. There is a specific filter. There is a specific filter attached to this telescope, and it reduces its intensity very highly. So please, unless you have very specific filter, please don't. And goggles, please don't try to see the eclipse through naked eyes. You have to always take precaution. So unless you have goggles, don't look at sun. Or but unless you have any expert guidance, please don't put these filters on even your cameras or any other instruments. There is very high chance of burning the instruments. In fact, generally, astronomers advise that if you are using any instrument to see eclipse, you should use only one eye. In case something goes bad, at least other eye remains intact. So this is on lighter note, but please take care and have a safe look at eclipse. And enjoy your eclipse and enjoy your Diwali. Thank you. Now we'll be connecting it to a telescope and see how sun is looking now. Today, sun is much quiet. There is not much activity on sun except some small sunspots. So we'll be able to see few sunspots on sun. And then as solar eclipse progresses, we'll be able to see some unexpected things happening on sun as well. How the moon progresses and how that dark portion or dark pie of sun appears in the sky. So now we'll be shortly started seeing the feed from telescope. So yeah.
So welcome back. We have now set the sun into the telescope using a DSLR camera. Now for this we have taken extreme precaution. We have attached a solar filter on the telescope, and we have connected the DSLR camera using a T-ring or a T adapter, which is very commonly available, or you can purchase it very easily from any market. Now what we have done is we have given the camera feed to Zoom, and we are streaming it live to you. So what needs to be done very carefully is that you can see here there is a solar filter. Maybe you can come on this side. And the telescope has been attached with an appropriate solar filter, which is a mylar filter. And then we have ensured that there is no leakage of light inside the telescope, because the telescope is going to converge and magnify the light coming onto the mirror. So we don't want that to directly fall onto the sensor, because it can permanently damage the sensor. So it will be very much similar to what happens when you hold a magnifying glass and you hold it very close to the focus and the paper burns. So you all might have tried it in your school, or maybe even nowadays. But this is very important that you use appropriate solar filters when you are capturing the sun or when you are observing the sun. Coming back, Ankit, if you can switch to the camera feed, people can now then be able to see the sun. Let me just bring it to the center now. So if you notice closely, there are some sunspots which are visible on the edge of the disk. So sunspots are relatively colder regions on the sun. So the sun itself is a giant hot ball of gas and plasma, right? And the surface temperature of the sun is around 5 to 6,000 degrees centigrade. And the sunspot temperature is typically 3 to 3,500 degrees. So it is because of this difference in the temperature, the sunspots appear darker, but the sunspots are not really black in color, right? And these are very magnetically active regions of the sun. And because of high magnetic activity, the charged particles or hot plasma particles in that region get thrown away, and the relative temperature in that region falls. That is why we are able to observe the darker regions on the sun, which we call as sunspots. Now, there is another interesting thing about this is that the sunspots appear in cycles of 11 years. So after every 11 years, you can see more number of sunspots. And then after 11 more years, you can see fewer number of sunspots. So these are some very interesting features. And even though we do see sunspots for hundreds and hundreds of years, we still don't completely understand them. And to be able to study them, we are going to send a mission, which will be an Indian mission called Aditya L1. And very soon in this stream, maybe in a couple of 20 minutes or so, one of the research scholars from IUCAA will join us, and he will talk a little bit more about Aditya L1. So which is the upcoming solar mission of India. And IUCAA is a proud partner of one of the payloads, which is being put on Aditya. And coming back to this sun, you see the entire solar disk, right? So no part of the sun's disk is currently hidden by the sun, hidden by the moon. And you can see sunspots on the opposite edges of the sun. So as I said, those are the relatively colder regions. And if I'm not sure if the feeds from other telescopes are live yet. So Ankit, perhaps you can give a quick feedback if those feeds are there. Maybe we can take a quick look at them. Ankit, can you read us? Can you hear us? So we have some friends and colleagues who are joining from all over India. So we have some friends at Hanle, which is the India's highest altitude observatory in Leh. We also have friends joining us from Aries, which is in Nainital, which houses the largest telescope in India, called the Devastal Optical Telescope. Now we have our teammates who are joining us from Lonar, which is a meteoritic crater in Buldana, and two more teammates who are, one of them is joining from Hingoli. I'm sorry, one of them is joining us from Giravli, and one of them is joining us from Guhagar. Right now on the screen, you might be seeing the Aries Nainital stream, and then there is also the stream from Hanle. So it's very interesting to see sun from different regions all over India, simply because of Zoom nowadays. And because of lockdown, we have now come a lot closer rather than being farther away or being, to ourselves. So we will see the stream of Hanley at 4:21. That is when the first contact of Hanley will happen. And in Pune, the first contact of sun will happen at 4:51. So it is actually very interesting to see the eclipse happen again from two different locations. And of course, the obstruction will be more in Hanley because it is further north. But then we get to see many eclipses at the same time. So I request Ankit to switch over to some other stream while we do some setup on this telescope now. So let's move on to some streams in the Hanley or Aries.
So right now what you can see on the camera, on your screens, is the feed from Hanley. Is the feed from Hanley.
Welcome back, all of you. And as you can see, eclipse has started in some part of India, mainly northern part. Eclipse has already started, and as you can see, the feed from Hanley telescope in Leh area, eclipse had just started, and moon had just made first contact, what we call as a first contact, where moon had just touched the sun's disk, and slight black area you can see, and now it will start progressing. The time of eclipse, start of eclipse, and maximum time of eclipse and end of eclipse will be slightly different at each place in India because of the local conditions. Eclipse has already started in northern area, and it will be seen. The start will be seen in southern part of India in few more minutes. So it's 4:26 as of now, where the eclipse in Hanley you can see already started, and this is what we call as the first contact, where moon's disk just touches sun's disk from outside, and the black area what you are seeing is actually the moon. At other times we will see moon as a bright disk in sky, but in solar eclipse, moon is coming in between earth and sun. So what we actually are seeing is darker side of moon, or the dark disk of moon, because it is covering sun, and slowly it will come across. Today it is not total solar eclipse, so it is not going to completely cover the sun. Sun is not going to get completely black, but major part of sun you will see, main part of sun will be eclipse, and how much it gets eclipse will change from location to location. Around 20 to 35% sun is going to get eclipse in various places in India. We can enjoy progress of this eclipse, and thanks to today's technology, you can see it very safely sitting at your home, and through our telescopes across India, we are trying to show this eclipse across multiple places from India. And as of now, what you are seeing on screen is feed from Hanley telescopes in Leh area, where eclipse has just started. We are sitting in Pune, IUCAA, and it will take some time to start the eclipse at this point. So it is going to start maybe around 10 minutes from now, but we'll keep giving you the live feeds from various places. As of now, we have live feed from one place. It is going to start exactly at 4:51 at Pune. So we still have around 20 minutes to start from Pune. And that's the difference what geographical conditions make. Northern parts are going to see this phenomena earlier, and as the eclipse progresses, we'll see it later on in this area. So welcome back. Now we have one more eclipse starting, just starting point. That is from Aries, and it is just starting. It is just first point. You may not be even able to see it immediately or notice it immediately, but it is just started, and now you can see it. The eclipse is slowly progressing, and as it progresses, we first saw eclipse started at Hanley telescope, and now it is at Aries telescope, Nainital. So first contact has happened, and slowly it is, yeah, please center that sun. Yeah. Yeah. Is this mute or is this okay? So I will just will switch over the system, and please allow us So welcome back. This is Nilesh, and you can see now the live stream again. This is live streaming from Hanley telescope, and as you know, the eclipse started from the northern side first, and then southern parts of India it will start. The topmost telescope or the northernmost telescope what we have is in Hanley, and where eclipse has progressed maximum. Then we have already started another feed from Nainital, the Eris telescope, and shortly we'll start from Goregaon in next few minutes. Plus we have other streams from Lonar, then in Maharashtra, which is a big meteoric impact crater, world famous Lonar crater. So we have a telescope set up there. Then we have at IUCAA, that is Pune. IUCAA is Inter-University Center for Astronomy and Astrophysics, a renowned research center. And then we'll have live stream from Guhagar in Maharashtra coastal area. So these telescopes are set up at all these places to cover this event. And we'll see as and when as the event progresses. So what you are seeing on screen is the live streaming from Hanley. The eclipse from Pune is yet to start. At 4:51, we have first contact in Pune, where we'll start seeing the dark limb of moon moving over bright disk of sun. Yeah, someone is asking it is slow. Yes, it is astronomical event. It is very slowly moving. It is going to take around 1.5 hours to go to the maximum start to maximum point and then go towards the end. In fact, sun is going to set at most of places when it is still eclipse. So it is not going to be a very dynamic thing where you will see sun's moon darkly very fast over sun. It is going to be very slow progress. But within 1.5 hours, you will see the big difference over here. Plus, we'll start parallel streaming as and when the eclipse starts from other locations, we'll show parallel streams, and then you will be able to realize that how eclipse is moving and progressing. So at same time, we'll be able to see different phases of eclipse from different locations. So we are going to show live streams from Hanley, which you are already seeing, then Eris telescope Nainital, then Goregaon, Lonar, which is a big crater, impact crater, then IUCAA, which is a research institute in Pune, and Guhagar, which is a coastal area in Maharashtra. So all these things will be from at least 6 locations. There are going to be live streams, and you can see now Eris feed also coming live. From Hanley, you can see Hanley more progresses there. The eclipse has progressed more. Nainital, it is slightly less. From Goregaon, it is just about to start in next 5 minutes. Then it will start from Lonar and then from IUCAA.
Hello, can you hear me, guys? Can you just confirm in the chat? Hi, everyone. I'm ready to speak. If you can confirm in the chat, if you can hear me.
Sir, you are audible.
Okay, when do I start?
Yes, you can start.
Hi everyone, this is Samir today. I'm joining you from the Lonar crater, the world famous Lonar crater, which is right behind me. And we are here to witness this live eclipse, which is happening right now. It's actually just about to start in the Indian longitudes. We are, of course, aware that this is a eclipse which is going to be seen all over India, and we've been getting a lot of news and updates from various parts of the countries. You've also heard a lot of scientists talk about this. So this is another exciting location that the Inter-University Center for Astronomy and Astrophysics is coming to you with, and we are here at this lovely meteor crater, and I'll just show you the crater in a panorama. Of course, the sun is there in the direction, but you can still see this beautiful space crater. The sun is quite bright right now, but as you can see, the crater is in this place, and a lot of water in it. Huge with it's the worst in the world where the meteorite on a fallen millions of years ago, and we have rod of basalt, solid rock like that has melted by this, and then seeing sorry, so there's a lot of connection problem here, and as I was telling you that we have this crater which is about 150 meters deep, and it's 2 kilometers across. It's a huge crater, and on Indian soil, and it's basically one of the only craters which is vegetation inside. You can probably see the lush greenery below me and on the sides. And as the sun slowly sets and we see more of the eclipse, we'll be showing you more glimpses of this same place. Of course, we remind you that you can watch the solar eclipse from any place in the country. You're welcome to watch it, but use solar eclipse goggles, not the sunglasses that I'm wearing right now. So these are not the ones that you should be using. This is I'm just protecting myself.
This channel, sir.
So
And welcome back again.
you all can
to
see the
Pune.
first contact from Goregaon.
As you can see the first contact is just starting in Pune, and it has just before a minute it has started from Goregaon. So Rupesh is showing it from Goregaon. You can see the disk of sun, and 1 minute back, the first contact happened in Goregaon. First bite is taken for the sun's disk, and similar thing will be seen in Pune in next few seconds. Uh, 4:51 was first contact time in Pune, and it is just starting. Yes, you can see now sun's disk, and the moon had just touched it from one side. And this is the first contact. It is the first bite of moon, sun's disk taken by moon, and now you will see the dark moon progressing in the front of sun's disk, and the eclipse will progress, and slowly it will move on. Obviously, it is going to be very slow thing, but you can see live streaming and live status from different locations. And as I told earlier, the different locations will have different time for eclipse, and that's why we can see different status at same time. Now, what you are seeing on screen is from Pune. It is just progressing, and same time we have inputs from Aries Nainital also, where it has progressed much more. It is in much advanced stage. And then after Pune, next feed will be from the different location, that is from Guhagar. It is in 4:55. In next 1 minute, the first contact will happen at Guhagar. But what you are seeing is from Pune now, from IUCAA premises, we have set up a telescope, and you can see sun's disk. And what you were able to see a few seconds back, and now you can see the progress. The moon is progressing in front of sun. So whatever is the dark portion is moon, and the bright disk what you are seeing is the sun. Sun, we have put a very heavy filters in front of optical filters in front of telescope. These are mylar filters to reduce the intensity of sun. Otherwise, through telescope you cannot observe sun. Sun is so bright that the telescope and its internal optics will burn as telescope concentrates the light. So to take care of that, a good quality filters are applied there, and with that now we are able to see this sun and eclipse progressing. Similar arrangement is done at other places as well, so that everyone can see the eclipse very safely. And this is how it is progressing in next. This is from Pune. In next few seconds, the first contact will happen in Guhagar, and we'll bring you the live feed from Guhagar and other different places how it is progressing. We have feeds from different places, and there can be occasional issues in connectivity because we are managing this from 6 different locations. So please bear with us if not all feeds are available at same time, but we are trying best to show it. And what you are seeing in front is live feed from IUCAA as moon's disk is progressing over sun's disk. So the dark portion what you are seeing is the moon, and the bright circle you are seeing is the sun. And moon is coming in front of sun to create this eclipse. Eclipse happens when moon comes in between sun and earth. So some part of sun appears to be hidden behind this moon, and that's what we call as eclipse. Today is partial eclipse because we'll not see some part of sun getting covered by moon. Complete sun is not going to get covered, so it is not going to be absolute dark sun or black sun seen in sky. It will be something like this, but much bigger portion of sun or much bigger pie of sun getting covered by moon. That's what we are going to see. And now we can see live feed from other places also coming in. I believe the first contact has happened at the next place, Guhagar also, and we can see from projections from there. One interesting thing, okay, I have just got one request that Marathi किंवा हिंदी मध्ये बोला, संपूर्ण माहिती द्यावी. पुण्यात किती वाजता? Okay, so I will speak in Marathi, Hindi, English, all these things. So thanks for giving this suggestion. मराठी मध्ये बोलायला तुम्ही सांगितलं त्याच्यासाठी धन्यवाद. तुम्हाला समोर जो दिसतोय पिवळा केशरी मोठा गोळा, तो किंवा जी डिस्क दिसते तो सूर्य आहे आणि त्याच्यावर जो डार्क किंवा काळ्या रंगाचा एका बाजूने थोडासा तुकडा गेलेला दिसतोय तो चंद्राचा भाग आहे. आता चंद्र हळूहळू सूर्याच्या समोर येत चाललेला आहे, सूर्याला झाकत चाललेला आहे. त्यामुळे जसा चंद्र हळूहळू पुढे येईल, जास्त मध्ये येईल, पृथ्वी आणि सूर्याचा जास्त भाग झाकलेला दिसेल. तर आता हळूहळू चंद्र पुढे चाललेला आहे. 4:55 वाजता पुण्यात पहिला कॉन्टॅक्ट झाला होता. म्हणजे चंद्राने अगदी थोडासा सूर्याला जस्ट टच केला होता आणि पुढं चंद्राची काळा भाग हा सूर्याच्या समोर यायला सुरुवात झाली होती आणि आता हळूहळू हे पुढे गेलेलं आहे. पुण्यानंतर गुहागरला हा सूर्याचा पहिला टच झाला होता ग्रहणाचा आणि तिथं पुढे ग्रहणाची सुरुवात झाली. आपण जसं आधी पाहिलं होतं, उत्तर भारतामध्ये ग्रहण दिसायला पहिल्यांदा सुरुवात झाली आणि नंतर मध्य भारत आणि दक्षिण भारतात हळूहळू पुढे जाते आहे. तर जेव्हा पहिल्यांदा आपण पाहिलं हॅनले टेलिस्कोप किंवा हॅनलेची जी दुर्बीण आहे लेह मधली, तिथून पहिला ग्रहणाचा भाग आपल्याला सुरू दिसला होता. दुसरा नैनितालची एरिस जी आहे तिथून दिसला होता आणि आता आयुका मधून दाखवतोय, जो पुण्यामधून, जो आता तुम्हाला मुख्य स्क्रीनवर दिसतोय. तर या 3 ठिकाणाहून दिसतंय. याच्याशिवाय लोणार जे सरोवर आहे तिथून आणि गुहागर दाखवणं चालू आहे. आता तुम्हाला स्क्रीनवर दिसायला सुरुवात झालेली असेल ती गुहागरचं. तिथं तुम्हाला समुद्र पण दिसतोय. मला वेगळं गुहागर सांगण्याची गरज नाही. समुद्र किनाऱ्यावरच टेलिस्कोप लावलेला आहे आणि तिथून हा फीड दिसू शकतोय. तर तुम्हाला दिसेल तिथं दुर्बिणीला फिल्टर लावलेला आहे, मायलार फिल्टर, आणि त्याच्यानंतर त्याच्यामुळे त्याला दुर्बिणीला डायरेक्ट मोबाईल फोन किंवा कॅमेरा लावून आपण बघू शकतोय. इथं तुम्हाला हे गुहागरच्या समुद्र किनाऱ्यावरून ग्रहण काय दिसतंय हे मुख्य स्क्रीनवर आता दिसत आहे. अर्थात तुम्हाला असे फोटो काढायचे असतील तर तुम्ही कृपया सूर्याकडे डायरेक्ट कॅमेरा किंवा मोबाईल धरण्याचा प्रयत्न करू नका. सूर्य अत्यंत प्रखर असल्यामुळे तुमचा कॅमेरा जळू शकतो, तुमचा मोबाईल मधला लेन्स जळू शकतो. त्यामुळे कृपया डायरेक्ट सूर्याकडे धरू नका. त्याच्यासाठी मध्ये चांगल्या क्वालिटीच्या ऑप्टिकल फिल्टरची गरज असते आणि ग्रहणाचे जे चष्मे असतात तेच फक्त हे उत्तम प्रकारे काम करू शकतात आणि तेही व्यवस्थित प्रकारे हाताळावे लागतात. त्यामुळे तज्ञ मार्गदर्शनाशिवाय कृपया थेट डोळ्याने बघूही नका किंवा दुर्बीण, कॅमेरा, मोबाईल फोन हे सूर्याकडे रोखू नका. त्याच्यामुळे तुमचं जे काही इन्स्ट्रुमेंट आहे, मोबाईल फोन आहे, तो जळू शकतो. तुम्हाला आता गुहागरच्या समुद्र किनाऱ्यावरून हे दिसतोय. So this live telecast is from Guhagar seashore or Guhagar beach. You can see very similar to progress from Pune. Now one interesting thing you can see is the orientation of eclipse is different from different locations. So you can see from Hanle Moon is coming almost horizontal, and from the side, from Aries slightly upside, from Pune it is coming from down, from right side, and Guhagar it is coming from left side down. So actually this is just because of orientation of camera. आणि आता थोड्याच वेळात सूर्यग्रहणाबरोबरच सूर्याबद्दल अजून अत्यंत सुंदर माहिती तुम्हाला मिळणार आहे. भारताचा एक मोठा प्रोजेक्ट चालू आहे त्याच्याबद्दल, आणि विशाल उपेंद्रन हे एक सायंटिस्ट आहेत आयुका मधले, ते माहिती देणार आहेत. So Vishal Upendran is going to speak about Aditya L1, which is India's first mission to Sun, and he is going to speak for next 20 minutes, and then again we'll get back with the live streaming. So Aditya हे भारताचं स्पेस मिशन आहे सूर्यासाठी, आणि सूर्य आणि त्याचे सौरडाग किंवा सनस्पॉट याच्या बद्दल विशेष त्याच्यामध्ये अभ्यास केला जाणार आहे. आणि विशाल उपेंद्रन आयुका मधले आहेत, ते त्याच्याबद्दल माहिती देणार आहेत. सो ओव्हर टू यू विशाल.
Yeah, thank you very much. Hello everybody, hope you are enjoying the partial eclipse that's going on. So I'll talk to you a bit about the Aditya L1 mission and the role of IUCAA in this mission. So what I'll do is I'll give a very brief summary of the mission itself, what science we are trying to do, and I'll also summarize this whole thing, if time permits, in 2 other languages, and we'll see how it goes, how the time goes by. So if you look at what we are seeing right now is the partial solar eclipse, and ideally you're supposed to see something like that. A part of the sun is being eaten away by the moon, if you want to think of it. So this is the kind of a speed that you should be seeing through the feed that's being done right now. Or if you can just go outside, depending on your location, and if you have the appropriate apparatus, you can see the eclipse going on. Now this disk of the sun that you see is what is called the photosphere, or it is what we call is the surface of the sun. And if you have a decent telescope with a good set of filters, you can actually see this, capture this image. Now I stress on one important thing in this image. So if you take any surface of the image of the surface of the sun, what you find is these black spots, black blemishes called sunspots. And these sunspots are basically magnets. You can consider them to be a bunch of different magnets scattered all around the surface of the sun. I request people to please mute. Thank you. So these sunspots are basically a bunch of magnets, and the stronger the magnet is, the more darker these regions are. So the sun that you see, that we are seeing right now is being hidden by the moon and all. It is actually having a lot of magnetism going on right now, and it is evolving like enormously all over the time. And I'm showing and telling you, this is like a really small spot and all. It is actually not small. That spot is the size of the Earth at the very least, and these sunspots can be much larger than Earth also, depending on the size of the magnet. So you have a bunch of different scales. You have magnetism going on. You have very hot gas.
Thank you for watching.
And this sun is a very complicated and interesting object of study. And what makes it more interesting is the sun is basically like an onion. So the photosphere is what we are seeing right now. But depending on the wavelength of light you see, wavelength means the kind of color of light, the color of the light that you are seeing. So just like you put a prism and white light splits into multiple colors, you also have colors that we can't see, but then we can perceive using different devices. So sun emits in different wavelengths also. And you have what is called the chromosphere, which lies above the sun, which lies above the photosphere. And the interesting part about the sun is that if you start from the photosphere, that is surface, the temperature does not drop as you go outwards. The temperature actually rises. So the photosphere is at like some 6,000 Kelvin, and as you keep going up, it goes to more than 10 to the power 6, like 6 zeros after 1. That is the amount. It's a million degree Kelvin. So that's how much the temperature rises from photosphere to as you go outwards. And you can see that the chromosphere looks vastly different from what a photosphere is. That's the photosphere. This is the chromosphere. And if you go even higher up, you see what is called the transition region. And this transition region, you can see these loop-like structures going everywhere. And that loop is basically tracing the magnetic field lines that are coming out from these magnets that I said were present inside the photosphere. You go even up, there is something called the solar corona. If you have a if you have a total solar eclipse, and if you actually have a really good camera setup, you can see that the sun is being obscured, and there is this bright structure that comes out. You can see it very clearly, and that is called a solar corona. And as I said, this is like you keep peeling and you keep getting layers and layers and layers of solar atmosphere. And this corona is at the million degree Kelvin, but the temperature has been rising all the way from photosphere to corona. And the solar atmosphere doesn't just stop there; it even continues outwards. The corona also expands outwards. There is a middle corona, there is an outer corona, and you can see all these structures. So if you hide the sun, that is this black, that's what this black patch is supposed to mean. If you hide the sun, you're supposed to see this kind of vast structure outside the sun. And you can guess that sun is like has a lot of gravity. So the plasma is, or the gas is bound to the sun. But at some point, if you have some gas going outside, it can also start to escape the gravity of the sun, and it starts to flow out as a stream of particles called the solar wind. And this solar wind is interesting because it comes and hits the earth. And when it hits the earth is also a very big magnet. And these little magnets in the solar wind interact with the magnet of the earth and give rise to beautiful things like aurorae. Or if we have, so you can see this aurora going on in the GIF here. But if you have a really bad day, what would happen is you would lose a lot of satellites, like what happened to Elon Musk. He lost a bunch of satellites. So this is the kind of a phenomena that occurs that starts from the sun and goes all the way till the earth. So it is of interest to both the community and the scientists to study various aspects of the sun. And particularly, we want to study the near part of the sun, the extended outer corona of the sun, and things that are happening inside the solar wind, but just before the earth. So these are the three primary goals of what we want to study. And we want to perform these observations 24/7. We have no idea what the sun is going to do in a couple of hours from now. I mean, we have some idea, but if sun chooses to do something really violent, we need to be prepared for that. So we need to keep observing the sun and see what it is up to at each time. So for this purpose,
आप में से कितने लोग हैं जो बहुत एक्साइटेड हैं आज के सेशन को लेकर के?
The tentative launch for this mission is early next year.
तो अब मैं जैसे ही आपको नाम बताऊंगा उनका, जो हमारे आज के गेस्ट हैं, तो आपका जो एक्साइटमेंट लेवल है वो और बढ़ जाएगा।
आदित्य, we all know
पहले के गेस्ट कौन है? मैं आपको थोड़ा सा बताता हूँ यूट्यूब के बारे में। यूट्यूब में क्या है कि पूरे वर्ल्ड की अगर बात करी जाए तो करोड़ों चैनल्स हैं जो अलग अलग जॉनर्स में, अलग अलग कैटेगरीज में, उसमें से दो बड़ी कैटेगरीज है मोटिवेशन और एजुकेशन। पूरे वर्ल्ड में जो वर्ल्ड का नंबर 1 मोटिवेशन चैनल है वो मेरा है, और जो वर्ल्ड का नंबर 1 एजुकेशन चैनल है किसी इंडिपेंडेंट क्रिएटर का, वो उनका है। जो कि हमारे गेस्ट हैं, उनके 17 मिलियन से ज्यादा सब्सक्राइबर्स हैं। प्लीज
So that is why we want to put a satellite there, so we can keep observing the sun all the time. Sun and earth. I mean, of course, it doesn't make sense to you. You cannot visualize it. But if you just take the moon and put it at L1, the size of moon will be 1/4. The full moon will be 1/4 the size of what it is now. If you want to further imagine, this picture I took from one of the Mars missions. So this is a solar eclipse. This is a solar eclipse occurring on Mars, and you can see that this is one of the moons of Mars, and the moons of Mars are like pretty small, and you can see that it's 1/3 the size of the disk of the. Now imagine 3/4 of this black spot, And that would be the total solar eclipse that would occur if moon were actually at L1. So that is the amount of that's how we can calculate a distance between L1 and Earth. So that's Aditya L1 for you. So how is Aditya L1 as a mission going to help us? So the idea is we have multiple instruments on board Aditya L1 that are going to help us study the sun. So to study the near part or the disk part or what is called the chromosphere of the sun, we have an instrument called SOOT. Whereas to study the corona in its entirety, so not looking at individual parts of the corona, we have these instruments called helios and solexes. So chromosphere will basically, so SOOT will basically take images of the chromosphere of the sun and see what is happening up and down. Whereas these two other instruments, helios and solexes, are going to sort of sum over the whole of corona and give us some measurements, especially during very strong events called flats, which we'll see later. The outer corona will be studied by an instrument called VELC. And the in situ, as the solar wind comes out, it comes towards the Earth, towards the satellite, we have multiple instruments on the satellite itself, which are going to measure the properties of solar wind. So remember, solar wind is not something very fancy. It's just a bunch of electrons, protons, some ions, and magnetic field. So there are instruments called aspects, papa, and magnetometer, which are going to measure various properties of solar wind. So you can study what is happening somewhere inside this circle, and maybe that thing propagates outwards. You can study that, or if the thing propagates towards us, like face on, and that is something that we'll be measuring with these various instruments on board Aditya L1. So this is the general comprehensive overview of what Aditya L1 is. There are various institutes which have come together and various institutes working on different payloads, each of these individual payloads. And we are putting them together. Right now, this thing is in assembly stage, and we'll put them together and perform these measurements. And we'll be performing continuous measurements. It's not going to stop at any time. Every couple of seconds, we actually have measurements of the sun. So, as you remember this nice quote from the Avengers, that you bring together each of these individual instruments, which are actually really amazing, and put them together on one payload. And you place that at a place where you can always, continuously monitor the sun. It's going to be amazing. So the instruments and the teams talk amongst each other. And if something very prominent is occurring on the sun, all of these instruments will be observing the sun. And the amazing thing is, the sun gives rise to various processes, and each of these processes only emits in some wavelength, or each of these processes only gives rise to some specific signature. And the idea is, using all of these instruments, we capture all the possible signatures that are coming out from different processes, thereby studying the sun in its entirety. And we also have multiple missions by other space agencies that are also monitoring the sun in different wavelengths and different wavelength bands and different energy ranges. So we take our data, we take the data from other people, and all of us together try to study the sun and understand in its entirety. Of these many instruments, you see this instrument called SOOT here. So SOOT stands for Solar Ultraviolet Imaging Telescope, and that is the schematic diagram of SOOT. So it is a solar telescope. It's basically going to collect light and give rise to something, right? It's an imaging telescope, which means it is going to take pictures of the sun. Furthermore, it is an ultraviolet imaging telescope. So what it means is SOOT is going to study the sun in the ultraviolet regime. And this ultraviolet regime for SOOT primarily corresponds to studying the chromosphere and some part of the photosphere and transition region. So very low in the atmosphere, just above the photosphere, where the temperature starts to rise. It's a very complicated region. And that is exactly where SOOT is aiming. We'll be studying that region, and we'll be studying the dynamics and various things that are going to occur in that region. So SOOT is being suited up at IUCAA, mainly by IUCAA. There are other co-institutes which are working together with IUCAA. So just a couple of words about SOOT. So broadly speaking, there are 4 science questions, or 4 science goals of SOOT. And each science goal has multiple questions that we can answer. So the first question, or the first topic that we want to get more information on and address, is what is called the coupling and dynamics of the solar atmosphere. So what this means is, so we saw that in the photosphere you had these small magnets everywhere, and as you keep going up in the atmosphere, you see all these vast structures. You have these loop lines and bright structures and all. So if something happens on top, there's a correspondence in the bottom, and vice versa. So you have all of these complicated dynamics going on. And SOOT is going to fill a vital gap in the solar atmosphere where there are no periodic measurements being taken on the full disk. So what is the coupling? How do different processes affect different parts of the sun? That is one of the broad topics that SOOT is going to ask and observe. Another specific process that SOOT is going to address is to look at solar flares. Solar flares are these large eruptions on the sun, wherein you have a lot of plasma emission going on. You have these regions suddenly appear. So if you keep looking at the sun, suddenly there's some part of the sun that goes like super bright. There's a lot of light coming out, a lot of particles coming out because of that. You start measuring particles even on the ground, and that is called a solar flare. So these are massive bursts of energy, and if it hits the Earth, it's going to cause a lot of problems. So it has burnt telegraph wires, it has burnt electric grids at some point in the past. So but inherently, these are very interesting and beautiful phenomena, and that is something that also we want to study. Another phenomena that is of importance to us is called prominence. So prominence is basically like, it's plasma trapped and suspended in the atmosphere of the sun. And for some reason, it becomes unstable and it's released outwards. It can either go outside and maybe come towards Earth, or it may just fall back down into the sun itself, onto the sun itself. So what happens? What are these different processes that occur? What are the specific details of what launches these prominences? There are a lot of questions, but this is just a general topic that SOOT will also be trying to study. And finally, sun does not just give rise to solar wind in terms of particles. It also gives rise to a lot of radiation in ultraviolet and extreme ultraviolet. So these radiation also ionizes various parts of the Earth's atmosphere and modulates the global climate of the Earth. So there is a relation between the solar emission and the climate of the Earth. So what is the specific relation? These are some questions that will also be addressed by the observations of SOOT. So I have a couple of minutes. So what I'll do is I'll just summarize this in one other language, and if time is possible, in another language. So for those who know Tamil, I'll summarize what SOOT and Aditya L1 is about in Tamil. ஸோ சன்னை பார்த்தீங்கன்னா சன் வந்து ஒரு சூடான ஆப்ஜெக்ட் உங்களுக்கு தெரியும். சன்லேருந்து டைனமிக்ஸ்ன்னு சொல்லுவோம். சன்லேருந்து ஒரு சூரிய ஒளி வரவே வருது, அல்ட்ராவயலட்ல வருது, நார்மலா பார்க்கும் போதும் வருது. ஆனா சூரிய ஒளி தவிர ஒரு காற்று வெப்பமும் இருக்கு. ஒரு சூடான ஒரு காத்து ரொம்ப ஒரு மில்லியன் டிகிரி கெல்வின்ல வருது. இந்த காத்தா இருக்கட்டும், இந்த ஒளியா இருக்கட்டும், இது எல்லாமே வந்து அர்த்த வந்து இன்ஃபுளுன்ஸ் பண்றது. இது தவிர சன்னே இன்ஹரண்டா ஒரு இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங்கான ஆப்ஜெக்ட். அதுல வந்து நிறைய பிசிக்கல் ப்ராசஸ் எல்லாம் நடக்கிறது. இந்த ப்ராசஸஸ் எல்லாம் ஏன் நடக்கிறது, எப்படி நடக்கிறது, இங்க எங்க எது தட்டினா எங்க எது அதிரும், இந்த மாதிரி கொஸ்டின் எல்லாம் கேட்கறதுக்காக நம்ம இந்தியால வந்து ஆதித்யா L1 அப்படின்ற மிஷின் வந்து நம்ம லான்ச் பண்ண போறோம். இந்த ஆதித்யா L1 வந்து இட் இஸ் டன் பை மெனி இன்ஸ்டிடியூட்ஸ். நிறைய பேர் நிறைய சயின்டிஸ்ட் இருக்கட்டும், நிறைய சயின்டிஸ்ட் குரூப்ஸ் ஆக்சுவலா சேர்ந்து பல விதமான இன்ஸ்ட்ருமெண்ட்ஸை பண்ணி அதை அசெம்பிள் பண்ணி அதை வந்து ஒரு அர்த்த ஆர்பிட்டா இல்லாம சன்னோட ஆர்பிட்டா அமைச்சு நம்ம வந்து 24/7 மெஷர் பண்ண போறோம். சன் வந்து எப்படி பிஹேவ் பண்றது, சன்ல இருந்து எதையாவது நமக்கு வந்ததுன்னா நமக்கு வந்து அதோட எஃபெக்ட் என்னவா இருக்கலாம், நம்ம வந்து அது கூட படிக்கிறோம். இதுல வந்து IUCAAல SOOT என்கிற இன்ஸ்ட்ருமெண்ட், சோலார் அல்ட்ராவயலட் இமேஜிங் டெலஸ்கோப் அப்படின்ற இன்ஸ்ட்ருமெண்ட்டை வந்து நாங்க வந்து தயாரிச்சுட்டு இருக்கோம். மெயினா IUCAA தான். இது தவிர மல்டிபிள் வேற மற்ற நிறைய இன்ஸ்டிடியூட்ஸ் எல்லாம் கூட சேர்ந்து இருக்கு IUCAA கூட. அங்க மெயினா பண்ண விரும்பக்கூடிய டாபிக்ஸ் என்னதுன்னா வந்து சன்ல வந்து ஒரு இடத்துல ஒரு விஷயம் ஆச்சுன்னா, ஒரு குரோமோஸ்பியர்ன்ற ஒரு ரீஜனை காமிச்சாங்க, ஒரு டிரான்சிஷன் ரீஜன் ஒரு ரீஜனை காமிச்சாங்க, கொரோனான்னு ஒரு ரீஜனை காமிச்சாங்க. கொரோனால ஏதாவது நடந்ததுன்னா குரோமோஸ்பியர்ல என்ன எஃபெக்ட் ஆகும், இந்த குரோமோஸ்பியர்ல நடந்தா டிரான்சிஷன் ரீஜன்ல என்ன எஃபெக்ட் ஆகும், இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு ரீஜனையும் வந்து படிக்கிறது ரொம்ப கஷ்டம். ஆனா எல்லாம் சேர்த்துதான் படிக்கணும். ஒரு இடத்துல ஏதோ நடந்தா இன்னொரு இடத்துல வேற ஏதோ ஒரு கன்சிக்வன்ஸ் நடக்கிறது. ஸோ சேர்த்து நம்ம என்ன எஃபெக்ட் ஆகுதுன்றதை நம்ம பாக்குறோம், நம்ம படிக்கணும்ன்ற விரும்புறோம். இதுக்கு வந்து SOOTோட அப்சர்வேஷன் ரொம்ப யூஸ்ஃபுல்லா இருக்கும். நம்ம அதை வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ப்ரையாரிட்டி அதை பண்ண போறோம். ரெண்டாவது சோலார் ஃபிளேர்னு நம்ம சொல்லுவோம். அப்படியே ஒரு பிரைட்டா ஒரு சன்னை பார்த்துட்டே இருப்போம், சடனா பார்த்தா ஒரு பாம்பு வெடிச்ச மாதிரி இருக்கும் சன்ல. அது ஏன் ஆறுது, எப்படி ஆறுது, அது வந்து நாளைக்கு நடக்குமான்னு நம்ம சொல்ல முடியுமா, இந்த மாதிரி கொஸ்டின்ஸ் தான் ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டன்டான கொஸ்டின்ஸ். இதை வந்து நம்ம ஆன்சர் பண்றதுக்காகவும் பாக்குறோம். இதை கூட நம்ம SOOT வச்சு ஆன்சர் பண்ணலாம். மூணாவது ப்ராமினன்ஸ் நம்ம சொல்லுவோம். நான் வந்து சொன்ன மாதிரி ப்ராமினன்ஸ் வந்து ரொம்ப ஒரு ஜில்லுன்னா ரொம்ப ஐஸ் கட்டி மாதிரிலாம் கிடையாது. ஜில்லுன்னா ஒரு 4000-5000 டிகிரி கெல்வின் அந்த மாதிரி எல்லாம் கூட வச்சுக்காங்க. அதோட சுடானா இருக்கும். அந்த பிளாஸ்மா வந்து உட்காந்துருக்கு அப்படியே. இந்த உட்கார்ந்து பிளாஸ்மா வந்து சடனா ஒரு லான்ச் ஆகுது, லான்ச் ஆகி ஜெட் மாதிரி வெளில வரும். அங்க இங்க ஜிசி நீங்க பார்க்கலாம் எப்படி வெளில வருதுன்னு. இது ஏன் வெளில வருது, எப்படி வெளில வருது, வெளில வந்தா என்னென்ன ஆகும், வெளில வந்து எஸ்கேப் ஆகுதா இல்ல உள்ளே போய் வருதா, இந்த மாதிரி கொஸ்டின் நம்ம வந்து அட்ரஸ் பண்றோம். கடைசியில வந்து இந்த சன்ல நடக்கிற சன்லேன்னு வர ஒளியா இருக்கட்டும் இல்ல வந்து விண்டா இருக்கட்டும், இதோட இன்ஃபுளுன்ஸ் வந்து நம்ம பூமியில இருக்கிற மேக்னெட்டிக் ஃபீல்ட்ல கூட இருக்கு, நம்ம பூமியில இருக்கிற அட்மாஸ்பியர்ல கூட இருக்கு. நம்ம வந்து அல்ட்ரா வயலட் ரேஸ் தான் வரும். அல்ட்ரா வயலட் ரேஸ் நம்ம ஸ்கின்ல பட்ட கேன்சர் வரும். ஆனா வந்து நம்ம அயனோஸ்பியர், ஓசோன் லேயர் எப்படிலாம் சொல்லுவோம். நம்ம இந்த ஓசோன் லேயரை தான் வந்து நம்ம காக்கிறது அல்ட்ரா வயலட் ரேடியேஷன் வந்து அப்படின்றது நமக்கு தெரியும். சன்ல இருந்து எவ்வளவு அவுட்புட் அல்ட்ரா வயலட் ரேடியேஷன் வருதோ அதோட எஃபெக்ட் வந்து நம்ம ஓசோன் லேயர் மேலேயும் நடக்கும். அது தவிர நம்ம அயனோஸ்பியர்லயும் அதோட எஃபெக்ட்லாம் நடக்குது. ஸோ காம்ப்ரஹென்சிவா என்னென்ன எஃபெக்ட் நடக்குது, எப்படி நடக்குது, சன்ல என்னென்ன ஒரு லாங் டேர்மா சன்ல ஆறதுக்கும் அடுத்த கிளைமேட்டுக்கும் என்ன சம்பந்தம், இதுவும் வந்து ஒரு இம்பார்ட்டன்டான கேள்வி நம்ம படிக்கிறதுக்கு. ஸோ இந்த நாள் வந்து ஒரு பிராட் டாபிக்கா நம்ம எடுத்துட்டு நம்ம வந்து சூட்டுக்காக மட்டும் நம்ம படிக்க போறோம். இது தவிர பல இன்ஸ்ட்ருமெண்ட்ஸ் இருக்கு. விஎல்சி இருக்கு. விஎல்சி வந்து சன்ல தூரம் இருக்கிறதெல்லாம் படிக்க போகுது. ஒரு மிடில் கரோனா அவுட்டர் கரோனான்னு சொல்லுவோம், அதை பத்தி படிக்கிறது. இது தவிர வந்து இன்சிட்டு மெஷர்மெண்ட். ஸோ விண்டு நம்ம கிட்ட வர 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 நம்ம வந்து அங்கேயே உட்காந்து ஒரு ப்ரோப் போட்டு மெஷர் பண்றோம். ஒரு கரண்ட் எடுக்கிற மாதிரி நம்ம மெஷர் பண்றோம். நம்ம இதை வந்து பாப்பா ஆஸ்பெக்ட்ஸ் மல்டிபிள் இன்ஸ்ட்ருமெண்ட்ஸ் இருக்கு. இது நம்ம பண்ண போறோம். இதெல்லாம் சேர்த்து இருக்கிற மிஷின் தான் ஆதித்யா L1. அடுத்த வருஷம் ஸ்டார்டிங்ல ஒரு லான்ச் ஆகிற மாதிரி டென்டேட்டிவ் டேட்ஸ் இருக்கு. So this is what we're all doing right now, and hope you had a great time and you see the eclipse in its entirety and you have a fun time doing this. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you Vishal for a very informative session.
meeting मध्ये माझा नंबर दे ना.
And covering it in multiple languages.
97.
So now we are going to start feed directly from the ground, where from the IUCAA, where a lot of people are there. A big crowd is there, and they are excited to see this. And most of them are carrying safe goggles. And IUCAA team is also showing through the projection, and you can see the crowd on the ground. And
Yes,
we'll move down to the ground.
Nilesh sir.
Yes. So now you can see we are moved to ground.
I'm on the university ground right now.
Very enthusiastic Punekar coming to the ground.
We have set up various telescopes to see. We have also distributed the solar goggles for participants to see nicely. Our volunteers are working to show everyone safely through the telescopes as well as the solar goggles. So the security and everyone around here in Pune has joined us in IUCAA sports ground. We would be having the maximum contact in some time. I'll switch over to Nilesh sir now. He can take you ahead with this.
So thank you. And as you can see, there is a big crowd on IUCAA ground. Many people are there. A few hundred people are there. There are news channel people also coming there to cover the event. And a lot of enthusiastic people are there. Right from school children to the senior citizens. Everyone is just oozing with the enthusiasm. Most of them are carrying these solar goggles like this to view the solar eclipse. Plus, IUCAA team has put many telescopes with the safe filter, what we call mylar filters, for safe viewing. And you can see some experiments, like if you put a sieve kind of thing, generally we should be able to see the circular projections on screen. But during eclipse, you will see the shape of sun coming on the paper. So everyone can do that it at home. Either you use a sieve or the Zara kind of thing. मी मराठीत सांगतो परत सगळ्यांसाठी. आयुकाच्या ग्राउंडवर हे भरपूर गर्दी जमलेली आहे. बरेच एक्सपेरिमेंट तिथं चालू आहेत. आणि एक सोपा एक्सपेरिमेंट आता तुम्ही प्रयोग पाहिला असेल. येस, हाय सर. सोपा एक्सपेरिमेंट आहे. तुम्ही घरात
Nilesh sir, sorry to interrupt you in between. We have here Sanjeet Mishra sir from IUCAA who has joined us here on ground to talk with us.
It is really exciting to see so many people have turned up here. People are getting interested to know. That's the most exciting part. So the scientific temper in the country is improving.
Thank you, Nilesh sir. Over to you.
थँक्यू. आता एक मराठीमध्ये मी सांगतोय, अगदी सोपा प्रयोग सगळेजण करू शकतात. घरात जर मोठ्या लोकांची चाळणी असेल किंवा झारा असेल तर त्याची सावली तुम्ही घेऊन बघू शकता. आणि इतर वेळेस त्या गोल भोकातून पडणारी सावली सुद्धा किंवा कवडच्या सूर्याचे गोल दिसतील. पण आज ग्रहणाच्या वेळेस मात्र आकाशात ज्या आकाराचा सूर्य असेल त्या आकाराचे कवडचे दिसतील.
5:28 हो रहा है. अब 1 मिनट में यहाँ पर मैक्सिमम एक्लिप्स होने वाला है नैनीताल में. यानी कि अब जितना एक्लिप्स होगा अब इसके बाद में ये धीरे धीरे और कम होता जाएगा. यानी कि मून
की त्याची सावली पडेल आणि आपल्या झाऱ्यातले प्रत्येक भोकाचं आकार हा गोल दिसण्याऐवजी हा असा सूर्य ज्या आकाराचा आकाशात आहे त्या आकाराचा दिसायला लागेल. अगदी सोपा प्रयोग आहे. किंवा जिथं तुम्ही बघू शकता झाडाच्या सावल्या पडल्या असेल कुठं तर झाडांच्या सावल्यांचे कवडचे सुद्धा गोल दिसण्याऐवजी असे या कोरीच्या आकाराचे. आता याला चंद्रकोर नाही म्हणता येणार, याला सूर्यकोर म्हणायला पाहिजे. तर सूर्याच्या कोरीच्या आकाराचे कवडचे तुम्हाला जमिनीवर पडलेले दिसतील. तर आकाशात जसं ग्रहण वाढत जाईल किंवा ग्रहणाची सूर्यावर चंद्राचा जसा चंद्र पुढे जाईल तसं हे आकार बदलताना तुम्हाला दिसायला लागतील. आता 5:30 वाजलेले आहेत. अजून जास्तीत जास्त अर्धा तास हा तुम्हाला व्यवस्थित बघता येऊ शकेल. त्यामुळे ज्यांना शक्य आहे त्यांनी हा प्रयोग घरच्या घरी करून बघावा. चाळणी किंवा झारी घेऊन किंवा झाडांच्या सावल्या बघून. आता आपल्याला स्क्रीनवर एरिस मधून नैनिताल ऑब्झर्वेटरी मधून सुद्धा इथे फीड येतो आहे आणि आयुकातला फीड सुद्धा दिसतो आहे की काय चालू आहे. म्हणून दीपक सुद्धा दाखवतायत. Now you can see the eclipse going on from multiple places.
Nilesh sir, I'm again sorry to interrupt you.
Yes,
we have Somak sir here, the director of IUCAA. We'll ask him how he's feeling.
This is so exciting. First of all, you don't see this all the time. This is towards the end of the day. The sun is very low. And look around. We are thousands of people here. I did not expect so many people to come. We had a few hundred glasses. We gave them around. And now the sun is so low. People are eclipsing the telescopes. And it is very hard to people look on the sun. Now we have 3 big telescopes here, the 3-inch, 5-inch and 8-inch. And just look at the 8-inch feed. It is very, very exciting. And I hope that more people will, I think people are still coming in. And it is very clear that people want to see this live. Very, very exciting. And I'm very glad to be with you.
Thank you, sir. Nilesh sir, over to you.
Thank you. हो, आता आपण पाहिलं डॉक्टर शोमक रायचौधरी जे आयुकाचे संचालक आहेत ते इथे ग्राउंडवर आलेले आहेत आयुकाच्या. आणि बाकीच्या उत्साही पुणेकर लोकांच्या बरोबर ते सुद्धा ग्रहण बघण्याचा आनंद घेत आहेत. ते वेगवेगळ्या संस्थेतून संशोधन संस्थातून लोक आलेली आहेत. अनेक उत्साही मुलं आलेली आहेत. त्यांचे पालक आलेले आहेत. अगदी लहान मुलांपासून ते मोठ्यांपर्यंत सर्व वयोगटातली लोक या ग्रहणाचा आनंद घेण्यासाठी आलेले आहेत आणि शास्त्रीय दृष्ट्या त्याचं निरीक्षण करतायत. So you can see from IUCAA ground, so many people have come from all age groups and they are enjoying the eclipse over here, right from school children to the senior citizens. Everyone is enjoying the eclipse, and IUCAA has made space, and many other institutes over here have made special arrangements for safe viewing of this eclipse. And on screen you can see feed from IUCAA, feed from Guhagar, feed from multiple places, how eclipse is progressing. And as you can see now, we are approaching towards the maximum at Pune. So maximum eclipse at Pune is at 5:43, which is around 10 minutes from now. So we already have maximum at Hanle and Aries Nainital. Maximum eclipse have already happened, and now moon will start moving away from sun at these places, and we can see brighter and brighter sun now. The moon will start moving away. Yes.
Yeah, so we have Shomak sir here again. He used to convey his message to all of you.
Right, I'm back. I always come back. So what? It is absolutely fantastic to see a partial eclipse so low in the sky late in the day. Remember the last few partial eclipses, the last one 2 years ago was high up in the sky, and the one before that was early in the morning. So we are looking at setting sun. The sun is going to be eclipsed when it sets, and that's astrologically a lot of people are excited about it. I don't know why. See, we have the earth, we have the moon going around, and sometimes it blocks the sun. That's an eclipse. So what does it have to do with events in the sky? The sun doesn't know that it's being blocked from the earth, right? So somebody came and asked me, are there special rays on the eclipse? I said, no, not at all. Sun does not know about us. It's happily doing its thing, and we are going around it, right? So it's great to see that the moon comes in front of us, and the sun then sets before the eclipse goes. This is very, very exciting for us. This doesn't happen every time. As I said earlier, it only takes the sun and the moon and the earth to come in one line. Happens every month because that's what the new moon is, Amavasya. But because they're not aligned perfectly, it doesn't happen every month. This is why it's a very important event. But some people in astrology are going gaga because it's come on the day of Diwali. Now, Diwali is on Amavasya, so it has to happen, right? Grahan should be on Diwali, but it doesn't because they're not perfectly aligned. So I think it's very, very exciting. And look at the atmosphere here. It's just buzzing with thousands of people. They all turned up. Some of them have their own glasses. Some of them have picnic sets. They sit on the grass and they're eating. This is a huge event. I'm so happy that something in astronomy gets people excited by this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Nilesh sir, you can take over.
Thank you. Thank you, Shomak sir. So very shortly, we are going to have maximum eclipse from Pune IUCAA. So I'm already wearing solar goggles, eclipse goggle to see it very safely. And I request all of our viewers also, if you are going to go outside and see the sun, please wear the solar sun goggles or eclipse goggles. Obviously, we are making it safe for everyone to see it from the computer screens or mobile screens without using any goggles. But it is always great fun to go outside and have a look at it if you have a safe goggles with you, the eclipse goggles with you. आताच आपण डॉक्टर शोमक रॉय चौधरी यांना ऐकलं आयुकाच्या ग्राउंड वरून. थोड्याच वेळात पुण्यातला ग्रहणाचा जो मॅक्झिमम आहे किंवा सगळ्यात जास्त ग्रहण जे दिसणार आहे ते क्षण येणार आहेत. आणि जर तुमच्याकडे ग्रहणाचे गॉगल्स असतील तर नक्कीच तुम्ही बाहेर जाऊन बघा. नुसतं कॉम्प्युटरचा स्क्रीन किंवा लॅपटॉपचा स्क्रीन, टीव्हीचा स्क्रीन याच्यापेक्षा तुम्हाला जास्त आनंद मिळेल प्रत्यक्ष बघण्यामध्ये. अर्थात तुमच्याकडे गॉगल पाहिजे. जर नसतील तर अर्थातच आम्ही तुम्हाला YouTube वरून लाईव्ह आणि Zoom वरून लाईव्ह दाखवतोच आहे. आयुकाच्या ग्राउंडवरून शेकडो लोक आता हा कार्यक्रम लाईव्ह बघत आहेत आणि ग्रहण बघत आहेत, स्वतःच्या डोळ्यांनी बघत आहेत, सेफली बघत आहेत. आणि आता हॅनलेचा जो मॅक्झिमम होता तो ऑलरेडी झालेला आहे. जो जास्तीत जास्त ग्रहण तिथं घडणार होतं तेवढ्या भागात चंद्र पुढे जाऊन आता बाजूला सरकू लागलेला आहे. 4:21 ला सुरुवात झाली होती पहिल्या हॅनलेच्या ग्रहणाला आणि 5:24 ला तो म्हणजे काही मिनिटापूर्वी मॅक्झिमम तिथं झाला. नैनितालचा 5:30 वाजता झाला. घोडेगावचा आता 5:41 ला होणार आहे आणि 5:42 ला लोणारची टीम आहे त्यांच्या इथं मॅक्झिमम आपल्याला बघता येऊ शकेल की किती होतोय. आणि 5:43 ला आपल्याला आयुका मधून म्हणजे पुण्यातून दिसणार आहे. 5च मिनिटात पुण्यामध्ये मॅक्झिमम ग्रहण होणार आहे, जास्तीत जास्त होणार आहे. अर्थातच जसं आधी सांगितलं पूर्ण सूर्य झाकला जाणार नाहीये या ग्रहणामध्ये. हे पार्शल एक्लिप्स किंवा खंडग्रास ग्रहण आहे. त्यामुळे पूर्ण सूर्य झाकला जाणार नाहीये, सूर्याचा काही भाग झाकला जाणार आहे. आणि 5 मिनिटानंतर ती मॅक्झिमम किंवा जास्तीत जास्त जे ग्रहण आहे तो ग्रहण मध्य हा येणार आहे आणि नंतर हळूहळू चंद्र बाजूला सरकत जाईल आणि परत सूर्य मोकळा झालेला दिसायला लागेल. ग्रहणाचा काळा भाग आहे तो हळूहळू कमी व्हायला लागलेला दिसेल. आता काही मिनिटात ते दिसणार आहे. मगाशी मी जसं सांगितलं तशा काही सोप्या गोष्टी तुम्ही घरच्या घरी करू शकता. तुमच्या घरात धान्य चाळायची चाळणी असेल किंवा झारा असेल. सध्या दिवाळी चालू आहे, अनेक लोकांच्या घरी फराळाचे पदार्थ तळून झाले असतील, त्यामुळे तो झारा नक्कीच सगळ्यांना माहिती असेल. तो तुम्ही उन्हामध्ये धरला तर त्याची जी सावली पडणार आहे ती आपल्या सामान्यपणे विचार येतो की झाऱ्याची भुकल गोल आहेत त्यामुळे त्याच्यातून गोल कवडसे पडतील. तर तसं न होता ग्रहणाच्या दिवशी सूर्य ज्या आकाराचा आहे तसा सूर्याच्या कोरीच्या आकाराची सावली तुम्हाला किंवा त्या आकाराचे कवडसे कागदावर किंवा जमिनीवर पडलेले दिसतील. अजून एक तुम्ही करू शकता की झाडांच्या सावल्या बघा, झाडाच्या पानांच्या ज्या सावल्या तुम्हाला दिसणार आहेत त्या नेहमीपेक्षा खूपच वेगळ्या दिसतील आज. कारण सूर्याचा आकार आकाशात वेगळा आहे, त्यामुळे पानांचे कवडसे सुद्धा जमिनीवर जे दिसणार आहेत ते वेगळ्या आकाराचे दिसतील, कोरीच्या आकाराचे दिसतील. हे प्रत्येक जण करून बघू शकतो, अत्यंत सुरक्षितपणे करू शकतो. So I was telling that everyone can do this experiment at home. Just use your sieves and with bigger holes and hold it in sunshine, and the shadows you will see will not be circular. What we will generally think that if we hold a circular object in or a hole in the sunshine, you will see its circular shadow on or circular projection on paper. It will not happen today because sun itself is not circular, it is a crescent shape. So you can see shadows of trees and you will see that the sun shining through its leaves will be absolutely different shape. It will be projecting as a crescent projection. Very different if you see the shadows of trees today. Also, if you see shadows of the seeds, they will be also very different today. Please, if possible, go out and see it with your eyes. It is a very different experience. If you have goggles, definitely go out and see this eclipse progressing in Pune. Now, one interesting thing this year, eclipse is in Diwali. And that's why since there are holidays, many people are able to enjoy, many people are able to visit IUCAA or other institutes which are showing and taking efforts to show such event to people from various places in Pune, from Maharashtra or from India. So please enjoy, take benefit if something is nearby you. There are so many institutes, amateur astronomers, their clubs or research institutes are doing this kind of work. Obviously, use this kind of solar goggles to safely see this event. And since now we have Diwali, lot many enthusiastic people are turning around over here. And now we are going to see the max contact. The feed you are seeing in screen is from Pune, and we are very close to the max contact. Max contact is 543, and it's 543 now in Pune. And since sun is setting towards, now it's moving towards the setting conditions, you can see the shimmering effect, slightly shaky sun, and it's around 30%. It's 23% approximately. What is the covered part of sun? As I told, it is not going to be 100% from this part of, or actually not, from nowhere it is going to be 100%. It is a partial solar eclipse. Maximum from Pune, what we can see is around 23%. पुण्यातला आता आहे हा मॅक्झिमम कॉन्टॅक्ट आहे. पुण्यातून मॅक्झिमम एवढंच ग्रहण दिसणार आहे आणि थोड्या वेळात हळूहळू चंद्र बाजूला सरकताना दिसायला लागेल. पुणे असेल, गुहागर असेल, इथून साधारण किंवा आयुकाचा टेलिस्कोप अजून असलेल्या ठिकाण, वेगवेगळ्या ठिकाणी जिथून दाखवत आहेत, हे जास्तीत जास्त एवढंच दिसू शकणार आहे. आणि याच्यानंतर आता हळूहळू ग्रहण कमी व्हायला लागलेलं दिसायला लागेल. त्यामुळे हे मॅक्झिमम ग्रहण आहे. हा ग्रहण मध्य आहे पुण्यासाठी. पुण्याचा ग्रहण मध्य हा 5:43 मिनिटांनी घडणार होता, जो आता जस्ट आता नुकताच घडलेला आहे काही सेकंदापूर्वी. आणि इथून हळूहळू आता ग्रहण कमी होत जाणार आहे आणि थोड्या वेळाने सूर्य मावळणार आहे 6 वाजून 4 मिनिटांनी 5 मिनिटांनी साधारण. आणि तेव्हा ग्रहण पूर्ण सुटलेलं नसणार आहे. तो ग्रहण असतानाच सूर्य मावळणार आहे. त्याला so now what you are seeing is the maximum eclipse from Pune or Guhagar or this area. And now here onward the eclipse portion is going to start decreasing. So bright sun's disk is going to reappear now and the dark portion is going to reduce. Sun is going to set around 6:65 and sun is going to set eclipse. So before sunset, eclipse is not going to get over. It is going to get set in eclipse condition. Now Mr. Samir Dhurde is going to show the telecast from Lonar crater. He is at Lonar, which is a meteoric impact crater with very high great astronomical importance, and he is there. So we'll switch on to telecast from Samir from.
Thanks, Nilesh. That's a great vision. That's a great, amazing sight that I can see. I cannot show you with the camera, but it's unbelievable that the crescent moon is there, and you can see the whole Lonar crater is here and I'm so amazed at the site right now. We are bringing this specially on the IUCAA channel for you from Lonar, the meteorite crater, where a few million years ago, a meteorite had crashed and made such a concave crater. And right now we have the sun also going concave. So I'll try to zoom now, and with precautions, of course. And you can see that the sun is lovely on the horizon. It's almost about to set, and it's got a lovely crescent. And you see that it's a beautiful view of a crescent sunset, and I'm very happy to share this with you all. It would be, I mean, we've got several people watching here in general, also with us with solar eclipse goggles. But right now it's quite in the clouds, and I have been able to remove my filter, which is not advised, but it's right now, it's just about to set. Amazing sight. Thank you, all of you, for joining us. Over to IUCAA. You can keep showing the view if you want.
Yeah, thank you, Samir. It is a fantastic view. अत्यंत सुंदर इथं दृश्य दिसत आहे. सूर्य अस्ताला चाललेला आहे, सूर्य मावळायला चाललेला आहे आणि ग्रहण आहे. त्यामुळे जशी चंद्राची कोर दिसते तशी सूर्याची कोर इथं दिसते. समीर धुर्डेंचा फीड जस्ट आता डिस्कनेक्ट झालेला आहे. अत्यंत सुंदर दृश्य दिसलं. So thank you, Samir, for showing this. So I will just once again pin.
Pleasure.
Thank you. आता आपण गुहागरचं बघूया. तिथेही अत्यंत सुंदर दिसत आहे. गुहागरहून दीपक गुहागरच्या टीमने हे दाखवले. गुहागरवरून शिवानी पेठे आहे आणि शिवानी इथून दाखवतायत त्यांच्या टेलिस्कोप मधून. अत्यंत तिथेही सुंदर, आता ऑलमोस्ट ग्रहण मध्य झालेला आहे तिथे जस्ट काही मिनिटांपूर्वी, आणि अत्यंत सुंदर तिथून दिसतोय. तिथून आपला फीड थोडक्यात आत्ता गेलेला आहे, पण तुम्हाला गुहागरच्या समुद्र किनाऱ्यावर. येस, हॅलो, ऐकू येतंय का? हो, ऐकू येतंय.
लेट्स सी, मुलांना आवडलंय का? आम्ही सूर्य सांगत आणि थँक्यू आयुका. सगळ्यांनी म्हणा थँक्यू. कसं वाटलं तुम्हाला?
Okay, this feed is with the sunset right now in Lunar. If you can shift to that, it's almost getting over here. That's yes, a day which Samir, we have been waiting for Samir, many months now.
Yeah, Samir, we can see you, your feed. It is a fantastic sight to see sun setting. Can you please continue and share more detail with us?
Yes, of course. This is a wonderful sunset which we have been hoping to see, and there was so much rainfall across India. It's a part of an astronomer's life that, you know, many times when there's an astronomical event, we have clouds, but we are very thankfully have a spotless sky today, and we just had a beautiful view of a setting sun, which is just looking like a moon. And all the children here, when they were looking at it through the filters, or the eclipse goggles, they thought that it was it was the moon in the sky. Of course, the moon is there in the same view that we are seeing. It is the sun which is getting covered by the moon. Part of it is getting covered by the moon, and the eclipse is such this year that it is the deepest shadow, what is called the umbra, is not actually touching the earth. It's going, the moon is aligned in such a way that its umbra shadow, the darkest shadow, is actually passing over the earth's north pole. And so we are only in the partial shadow, where we can only see part of the sun covered. And we've had excellent coverage from across India. And now you'll see some birds maybe passing by. They're all going home. We did not witness any change in natural activity from birds, etc., because the sun really did not lose too much of its magnitude, of its brilliance. It was only about less than half covered, actually, only about a quarter covered. There was no change, and I was looking around. There was no change in any kind of activity here, except for the people who were stopping by and looking at the lovely sight and the show in the sky. I think the show is over for me now. and we can go on to other feeds which might still be having some sun left. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Samir. लोणारला आत्ताच सूर्यास्त झालेला आहे आपण पाहिलं आणि सूर्यग्रहण असतानाच तिथे सूर्यास्त झालेला आहे आणि सूर्यास्त होताना सूर्य अगदी मंद झालेला आहे, त्यामुळे अगदी सहज उघड्या डोळ्यांनी हे बघता येऊ शकते. तरी सुद्धा गॉगल वापरलेला चांगला अर्थातच. तर इतर ठिकाणी आता हळूहळू सूर्यास्त होणार आहे, सूर्य क्षितिजाकडे चाललेला आहे आणि तुम्ही बाहेर जाऊन हे नक्कीच बघू शकता जर शक्य असेल तर. गुहागरचा आता मॅक्झिमम झालेला आहे, आम्ही दाखवतोय तिथून गुहागर वरून. तर 5:55 ला गुहागरचा मॅक्झिमम होणार होता, जो आता जस्ट होतोय. 2 मिनिटात गुहागरचा मॅक्झिमम सूर्यग्रहण होईल. पुण्यामधलं होऊन गेलेलं आहे आणि आता चंद्र हळूहळू बाजूला सरकायला लागलेला आहे, त्यामुळे सूर्य जास्त दिसायला लागलेला आहे आता. तर जिथं जिथं सूर्यास्त होतो आहे तुम्ही अत्यंत सहजपणे क्षितिजाच्या जवळ सूर्य बघू शकाल आणि बऱ्याच ठिकाणी ढगाळ हवा आहे, त्यामुळे सहजपणे तो सुरक्षितपणे दिसू शकणार आहे. गुहागर वरून आता दाखवतायत आणि ग्रहण मध्य झालेलं आहे गुहागरला. आता मॅक्झिमम ग्रहण तिथं झालेलं आहे. So now you can see at Guhagar it is maximum eclipse at 5:55. At Pune it happened few minutes back and now moon has started moving sideways and it is about to set. At other places also it is about to set. Or at Lonar we saw actually sun has already set while in eclipse condition. So now it is very safe in this condition. You can see it with your normal eyes directly without any goggles. A great opportunity. Yeah, and now you can see a fantastic view from IUCAA. There is a crane there, construction crane, which has come in front moon and yeah.
We are at the Guhagar beach and
Guhagar, yeah.
As you can see, we have a weapon here and we have a telescope. He has set it on nicely. मस्त सूर्यग्रहण थँक यू आयुका.
Yeah, Guhagar is the last place from where very nice eclipse is still being visible. गुहागरहून अजूनही सुंदर एक्लिप्स दिसतंय, ग्रहण दिसतंय. बाकीच्या ठिकाणी सूर्य मावळलेला आहे, त्यामुळे जो लाईव्ह फीड चाललाय गुहागरहून तेवढा आता शेवटचे काही क्षण आहेत आणि त्याच्यानंतर तिथेही सूर्य मावळणार आहे. आणि इथून आयुका मधून पुण्यातून सूर्य मावळलेला दिसतोय, पूर्ण क्षितिजा खाली झाडांच्या मागे गेलेला आहे. त्यामुळे आता इथून इथलं लाईव्ह टेलिकास्ट ग्रहणाचं हे बंद करण्यात येईल. गुहागरचं अजून चालू आहे, काही मिनिटं ते चालू राहील. आणि आता मी बाकी दुसऱ्या टीम मेंबर्सला विनंती करतो त्यांनी पुढची माहिती द्यावी आणि या कार्यक्रमाचा समारोप करावा. Now sun has already set in Pune, Ayuka. Guhagar, last few minutes, few moments you can still see. And now I will request our team members to conclude the program. Mayur will take over from now. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks all for patient listening, watching this event and actively participating in it.
Shivani, I request you, if you have a feed, you can show the crowd from Guhagar Beach. Can we put up Shivani's video?
VIP too.
And Sameer sir also. Yes, Shivani. Can you unmute yourself so that we can hear the crowd cheering?
It's almost sunset here. So we are not able to capture this sun from the telescope.
Right.
So this is Ambakar sir, he is from Chittoor, and he helped me a lot in taking this telescope, bringing this telescope in Guhagar. And you can see we have a lot of crowd, small kids too, to watch the telescope. As we are in Konkan, there were a lot of misconceptions, but they are all happy now that they can come on the beach and see the eclipse. So thank you, IUCAA, thank you, Ambakar sir, and thank you everyone for watching it live.
Thank you, Shivani. Thank you, Shivani, for wonderful telecast from Guhagar. It must have been amazing to see the sunset and the eclipse from the beach. Do we have anyone else in the meeting who wish to show the last moments? All right. I think everywhere the sun has set. We have seen live feeds from various parts of India, from Hanley, from Aries, from different parts of Maharashtra as well. We have seen from Guhagar, from Lonar Crater, and from IUCAA itself. Thank you so much for joining in such a big number, even at the university ground, where we have a lot of crowd who is very enthusiastic and asking a lot of questions. So much of scientific temper going around in the country. And we're so happy that you all joined us for this amazing live session. We hope that you were able to see solar eclipse nicely from your places as well, if not from this live feed. So thank you so much for joining, and we will now stop sharing the live feed. So again, lastly, thank you so much for joining in. Also, you can follow us on our social media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and subscribe to our channel. We keep coming on with such events whenever they are happening. You will get to see a lot of astronomical subjects, various things that are going around. We can talk about that. If you have any questions, you can always contact us on scipop@gmail.com, and we can communicate over there as well. So thank you so much for joining. I conclude in this live session. Thank you.